Welcome to Unselfishly Me, a podcast all about self-love, self-care, and everything in between. I'm Jane, a personal trainer with a focus on self-love. Each week, we'll be chatting to someone about their self-love journey, how long it took, and what it took to get there. Today, I'm talking to Camilla. She is a friend from social media. We recently got to know each other a little bit better, and I just love following her and learning all about beauty and fashion from her because she does it in a really real and authentic way. And I'd love to talk to her more about self-care, self-love, and everything else in between. So welcome to Camilla. Welcome to Camilla, aka CJaneWonder. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, Jane. Thank you for having me today. As a podcast lover, I'm very chuffed to be on a podcast. Thank you. So I'm 32, and I'm a Durbanite through and through. I was brought up by my dad, my sister and I are a very tight unit. I'm now a marketing consultant, so proud business owner, and I'm also a blogger.
Okay, so tell me, what does self-love mean to you?
Well, I think an important discovery I've had recently is that it's not all about taking a long bath and giving yourself a manicure. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's really putting myself first, which I have been very bad at doing in the past, and doing things that you love and things that serve you.
I totally agree. I think we always say that self-love is self-care, but they are not the same thing. So what has your self-love journey looked like?
Well, rocky, to say the least. So it kind of started when I was 16 and we had to move cities for my dad's job. And I became very depressed for the first time in my life. And I was very ashamed because I've grown up in a family where mental health has been a bit of an issue. So I was very ashamed of the feelings I was feeling, and I felt like I was going to disappoint my dad and make him worry if I had to tell him. So I kept it a secret. Yeah, for a long time. And then when I went to varsity, I was a lot happier because I was around my friends again. I went back to hometown vibes. And then everything felt great for years and years and years. And then about 2 years ago, the anxiety started hitting sky high. And one thing I am good at is that if I feel bad and if there's a problem, I do want to fix it. So I won't sit and wallow in the depression and anxiety and that kind of thing. So I started seeing a therapist often. And I've been really good with that for the last couple of years. Also, I went through a breakup a couple of years ago, and my biggest problem was always putting him first. So through going to therapy, talking through that, why I'm doing it, that kind of thing, and being self-aware of it, it's made a huge difference in my life. And I've also been dealing with past trauma with my therapist, which has also helped because I think that these things sit under the surface and they're triggers, etc., that bring things up that are not good. So I've learned a lot in the last few years, and I still work every single day at it.
But that's what I think. It is a journey, and everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to magically be fixed, but it's not. It's like you actually have to work at things every day.
And that's why I think it's important for everyone to accept therapy. So maybe it's not for you and maybe you don't need it, but I know for myself particularly, it brings me so much value going to see a therapist often, even if I'm not going through something at that exact time, just you paying someone to sit and listen to you, and they are a specialist. So yeah, I think it's so important for everyone to do, and it really is nothing to be ashamed of.
Definitely. So what was it like growing up? Did you experience any bullying from other girls?
So I didn't have your typical kind of bullying that you see, on TV with people calling people names in school and that kind of thing. I went to a really small primary school, which was very community based, and everyone was friends with everyone, and it was awesome. In high school, the first high school I went to, I was lucky enough to be in the group that wasn't the popular group and wasn't the nerdy group. We were a really nice group of girls who actually just spoke to everyone, got along with everyone. Then in the second high school I went to, when we had to move cities, what was difficult there is that I was halfway through grade 11
Oh.
and I went from a public co-ed school to a private all-girls school.
Wow.
So it was a big adjustment, first of all. And it was so difficult because I was actually so positive about it. And then I went there and all the girls had all of their friends already. And I wasn't bullied per se, but no one cared to make friends with me as much as I wanted to, start afresh and make new friends and that kind of thing. And then the worst kind of bullying I've actually had is when I was in varsity, I worked at this cocktail bar restaurant, Joel, and the stupidest thing that I can think of was we each had a book. So the girls had a book and we were all the waitresses, and the boys had a book and they were all the barmen. And we used to write things about each other. So like gossipy things or whatever. And there's this face that I pull when I'm concentrating, and they gave me a really nasty nickname about it and used to all say it behind my back. So
they have their own burn book.
It was called a burn book.
No,
I forgot its name. Yeah, we called it the burn book. So it was absolutely horrid. I don't know why we did it or why the managers thought it was a good idea, because they were the ones that suggested we do it. And luckily, one of the girls, she's still one of my friends today. She didn't tell me the nasty nickname they had for me, but every time I was standing at the computer putting in an order, she would say face, to like warn me to stop doing it. So now I know why. I found out like kind of to the end, but it was so difficult because you at varsity, these were like, all of the hot boys of the town all working there and everything. So they're the kind of, I don't know, I wanted to impress them or, and then they were all saying nasty things behind my back. So that was really horrid. And then also bullying from managers and co-workers and that kind of thing. But I think everyone kind of experiences that in the corporate world, that there's going to be people that think that they're the bomb and undermine you and that kind of thing. But not your typical kind of bullying I've ever experienced.
And when the corporate bullying and stuff, I find it shows more about the person than about you.
Something I've learned in therapy over the last year. Very true story.
You recently started taking more care of yourself and started being a bit more healthy. Tell me about that and what sparked that and how are you feeling now?
Well, what sparked it is I've always been a skinny malink, like up until I was like 25 or so. So from then, it was actually my mental health that was affecting my physical health per se, which I'll get into a second. But what started my journey was putting on so much weight and having a lot of self-hate and telling myself really gross things in the mirror and stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool, time to get healthy. I started eating really healthily. Nothing worked. I started gymming. Nothing worked. Got a personal trainer and spent a fortune. Didn't work. Had blood tests to see, could I please blame my thyroid? Nope, wasn't that. And then I found online, I found this place called Live Smart in Hillcrest. So I went through there and they do live blood analysis. And he saw within 2 minutes of looking at my blood that I had a lot of yeast in my blood. My red and white blood cell count was completely out, ratio-wise. And he explained to me that my stress hormone, cortisol, was affecting my gut health and also affecting, so it was my mental health and that my stress was affecting it. And then because my gut health was bad, that was affecting my physical health and my mental health, because I think few people know that your gut health is like 90% or something of your overall health, both physical and mental. So I started doing a detox through them, and the weight has been falling off ever since. I go for checkups every now and again, and if there's supplements and stuff that I'm missing, then I take really high quality A-grade type supplements, and I'm feeling really good. I've had a couple bad months lately. So I have put on a little bit of weight because I can just tell I haven't been looking after myself. But at least I know when you put in the effort now that my body is at, a nice homeostasis, then I can, make strides with my health. And so I just need to get back on that train.
Amazing. So what little self-love practices do you do each day?
Well, as I mentioned before, self-love isn't all, long baths and manicures and, those like semi-frivolous kind of things. Because I battle with anxiety and depression, self-care and self-love to me is sometimes getting out of bed, just actually being able to get out of bed and start my day. It's also getting out of pajamas, because with working from home, sometimes I just wear my pajamas all day. I have to sometimes, I know it doesn't sound great, but going for a shower is a bit of, when you suffer the way I do sometimes, not every day, just going for a shower and cleaning yourself is kind of self-care. And then what I've been trying to do lately is to put on real clothes. I do my makeup every day. Sure. I actually enjoy doing my makeup. So it's better than, looking gross at home, like stewing in your pajamas with dirty hair and that kind of thing. Like actually putting in a little bit of effort. And
because you're doing it for yourself, because some days you're not leaving the house, but you're putting the makeup on for yourself, which is nice.
Yep. And also, to be honest, I've got a lot of makeup because I'm a bit of a hoarder, so I'm actually using it, which is another good thing. And then 2 other things that I really enjoy are cleaning. So I've gotten really inspired lately. There's this Instagram profile called Mrs. Hinch Home. She's from England, and I love all of her tips and tricks. So I love cleaning and organizing. And then something I try to do every day is be genuinely kind to someone. So if you pop out to go buy groceries or something, I'll say to the lady who's scanning my stuff, like, your makeup looks really nice today, or like, sure, your smile really lights up a room, or something like that. That brings me joy, being kind to other people.
And it's nice because they'll go and then they'll pay that forward to someone else probably.
Yep, I agree.
Love that. So you've shared on social media about your anxiety. Can you tell me about that? And do you find that there are certain triggers, and how do you get through it?
So there definitely are triggers, and I've been trying to track them to see what's kind of sparking my anxiety and that kind of thing. Those are quite personal, so I won't get into that. Like, it's not going to really make sense to everyone. But another thing is definitely social media. So I love social media. It's part of my work. I am forced to be on it every single day. But there are some people specifically who will, flare up negative feelings within me. And one of them is Kayla Itzne's. Just because she just looks so perfect, like body wise. So I've actually had to I've actually blocked her. She doesn't care if I mute her. But because those ads used to pop up on my feed all the time. And I was just like, it was when I was still battling with my weight. And I was just like, I'm so fat. Like, that's horrendous. And then other people that sometimes people and you're friends with. But if they make you feel bad about yourself, then it's important to not, watch all of their stories and look at every single, post on their feed and that kind of thing. So I just make sure that when I am feeling down and that kind of thing, then I just stop obsessing about it, because I know that their life isn't perfect, and I know that they are trying to make everyone else think that their life is perfect, and it just riles me up. So I've stopped, taking part in that.
And I think if it's your friends, just mute them.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
then you're not unfollowing them. So they still think that you're following them, which is fine. They just don't affect you anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, with people tracking who follows them and that kind of thing, I mean, it shouldn't matter, but it does. And people notice, and then that causes conversations that you just don't want to get stuck into. So yeah, thank goodness for muting.
So what do you do in your daily life to try and keep the anxiety at bay?
So it is a bit difficult because sometimes you can't control your triggers per se, but as much as I can, I do try to control them. Then on an everyday basis, I try to eat healthily. I try to go to gym, which I've been horrendous at lately, so I'll try to get back into that. My vitamin B supplements are very important because when they are depleted, it definitely affects my my overall mental health and my sleeping. Then obviously therapy, very important. I hadn't gone to therapy for ages, for months and months, and I've finally gotten back into it, and it's making a big difference. And then with working for myself, you get the guilt of not working every moment of the day. So I want to do stuff that is important to me, that makes me happy. So if that means putting aside a few hours to watch Netflix, which is what I really enjoy, then I'ma do it.
Yeah, I'm the same. And have you experienced body shaming? And what do you think about the body shaming that happens online?
So I'm lucky enough not to have experienced it by other people. The only person I've experienced it from is myself.
Which is actually worse.
Yeah, definitely, because I was standing in front of the mirror every day telling myself how disgusting I was. Every day. And as you and I know, the more you say something and put it out there, the worse it gets. So I really did convince myself that I was disgusting. And I hate that I had to, now that I'm, healthier and I've lost some weight, I think that I am better. But I am healthier. So I just keep telling myself I'm not even just looking better in my skin, I'm also healthier. And then in terms of online, I think I'm not going to drop any big nugget of wisdom today. Obviously, I think it's horrid how, we've got these skinny girls on the runway and that kind of thing. But something that is good is that people are talking about it more. And I was watching this whole story about this lady who used to be a model, and she posted like a before and after, and she looks good in her before. And now she's got roles and that kind of thing. And she's like, I am so much healthier. I was like on the brink of being very ill. Let's not say death. That's that's a bit hectic. But she was like not eating at all. So where she might have looked in inverted commas better then, she does so much better and healthier now. And I also love that retail stores are doing mannequins that, aren't size 0, size 2 or whatever, and models on the runway, and then people like Ashley Graham and those kinds of, those steps forward in the industry are really good.
New role models.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes, the same way. There was this one lady on YouTube, and she's actually just come back from rehab, but everyone used to write comments on her YouTube channel about how skinny she was. And like she actually certifiably was anorexic and went to rehab.
Sure.
But people were body shaming her so hectically about how skinny she was. Like, that's not good either. So you either glorify one or the other, or you lambaste someone for one or the other. It's ridiculous.
I think that people don't really know that skinny shaming is also like a massive thing, and it is a form of body shaming. So I think everyone thinks that if you're fat shaming someone, that's body shaming, but if you're skinny shaming someone, it's the same thing. And a lot of people that are like literally just like, it's just my body, I'm just like, I'm like this is my bones. So I think we just all need to stay in our lane and just don't body shame anyone, just be kind.
And because traditionally it was the thinner and that kind of thing, the better. That's why people feel like it is okay to say to someone like, oh, look, you've gotten quite skinny, hey? It's like you would never go up to someone and be like, oh my gosh, you've, put on a few kgs. So it's important to just never mention anything like that. Not all compliments have to be based on your appearance. So you can just say like, oh, look at you, you're glowing, or you're looking so happy and healthy. You don't have to
eyes are shining now. Like, just...
Yeah, it doesn't have to be about your size.
I know, I agree. I think we all need to do that. Is there anything else that you'd like people to know about you?
I think that if you watch my Instagram stories, you've got a pretty good view of who Camilla Jane is. I'm very open. I always have been. I wear my heart on my sleeve. And another part of my self-care is also actually just being honest online and saying it like it is and showing you how I really am. So you kind of know exactly who I am. There's a few things like, the every little bits of the anxiety and stuff that people aren't going to know about. But in general, I'm me through and through. And that gets me in trouble sometimes. But I like being authentic. So... yeah, if you follow me there, you know.
I also enjoy, is it Tuesdays you do washing?
Yes.
Laundry Tuesdays?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, I said earlier, like cleaning is a form. I have got my little, a routine for every Tuesday. I put on my one podcast. It comes out on a Monday night, so I put it on Tuesday morning. I hang up my stuff very strategically, etc., etc. It's just like a little hour and a half for me to do that, and it brings me so much joy. And lots of people think I'm crazy, but I don't mind.
No, I love it. She put up a time lapse of her hanging the washing. Was it yesterday?
No, it was last week.
And I've strangely found it so therapeutic watching it. It was amazing.
Oh, yay. And I had fun filming it and then editing it. So I'm trying to get more into video. I'm really enjoying it for Instagram.
Yeah, no, so I really enjoy Laundry Tuesday.
Thank you.
So there's something that I've noticed on Instagram is that, and I'm guilty, I've stopped now because I've become aware of it, but I know you also do it and a lot of other people, is that when we do Instagram stories, we apologize for our appearance.
Oh,
We're like, hi guys, this was me. I used to be like, I'm sorry that my hair's wet and that's why it's in this towel. And then we're always saying, sorry about, I don't have any makeup on, and I'm sorry about, and I found and I've said it when I've done my Unselfishly Me, we did a retreat, and I said it to the girls, and they were all like, oh my word, no one realizes that you're doing it. But now that I've pointed it out, sometimes they'll reply to me and be like, oh my word, I saw someone doing it, and now I'm so aware of it.
Yeah.
That we're always apologizing for our appearance to strangers, really. I mean, some of you are friends, but most of you are not. But we apologize for our appearance all the time on our stories when we should just be like, hi guys.
Yeah, especially with me saying I want to be authentic.
Yes.
You're right. And I do it because there are a few people who are just perfect on their stories all the time with full face of makeup and their outfits and everything. And I like to post then and there when I'm busy doing something. And as I've mentioned, I'm often makeup free because I work from home. But you're right. Why on earth do I need to justify it? And often I'm like, sorry that I look so gross, which is also, that's so self-deprecating. Why do that? So good point. I'm gonna reply to every story from now on. I'll be like, stop it, and you'll be like that girl that said face. I'm gonna see what words. Yeah, words. Stop it. Yeah. So all of you listening to us, if you do this as well, you need to stop doing it. And we'll reply to you. Yeah, and also we will find you. Stop it. We'll find a hashtag. Yeah. Hashtag unapologetic. Or unselfishly me. Oh, you see. All comes back together. It does. So thank you to Camilla for spending this time in the little Zen den with me. It's been so nice. And it's nice to talk to someone about anxiety and about therapy. And I think we need to make it more mainstream. And even if you go to see a therapist, if you don't have problems, like you say, and you go once every 6 months as a check-in, I think is actually really healthy to do that. Or once a month or once every 2 months. It doesn't have to be every week if you don't have things to talk about, but maybe a nice little check-in every quarter. Yep, I think it's an awesome idea. Please don't be ashamed of it. It actually breaks my heart when people think that it's something shameful. And I think people do need to be a little bit more authentic online without trying to portray this perfect life all the time. So like I do, I think it's important to, say when you're having a bad day without trying to get sympathy. Yes. And also share your good times, but share all of them, not just your good life. I agree. So I've got the Gabby Bernstein cards out, and now we're going to just spread them. They're not spreading very well today. And you're going to pick one that's speaking to you. Okay. Just messing them around. Ooh, my fearless freedom lights up the world. I think that is quite good for me. Especially right now. Yeah. We're not telling you what we were talking about earlier, but I think that is actually so apt. Yay. Yay. That makes me happy. Thank you, my Jane. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to Unselfishly Me. Follow us on Instagram at unselfishlyme and check out our website www.unselfishlyme.com.